So again, there's the space we're working with, and there's our bracket. So you can see it fits in nicely. No, you can't see. There you go. Fits in nicely in the front, but the back is square, trying to go into a round hole. So we'll round that off there-ish, and then come back. And now it fits. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the bracket up to it. I'm going to pull the headlight off. It's just two 13mm screws. I don't need to show you how to do that. But I'm going to scratch up through this hole and this hole, because the bolt's going to go through here. I'm going to run the wire through here. So I'm just going to mark that, and then I'll show you what I've got. We'll drill those holes out. We'll paint. We'll be good to go. So here's the marks I made on the bracket. So I'm just going to drill those out to size, and then we'll be good. So here's the bracket with the holes drilled in it. And the size that I did, this is the bolt that I'm going to use. It's darn close to the same size as the original one. So I just drilled it out to make sure that that fits there. We're good. Let's go test fit it. So here's our bracket. We're going to put the bolt in first. Then we're going to slide the wire for the light through. Put that through there. Ooh, that's going to be tight. I may have a problem there. May need to bend that back just a little bit. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that angle out. There we go. That'll work great. Get it to focus. There we go. So like that, and then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to loop that wire through the third hole to go through the small hole in the bracket. So it'll look just like that. So let's paint these brackets. Okay, so I have both of my brackets made, which is super cool. What I'm going to do now is very lightly use an abrasion wheel or sandpaper or really anything. Grind down anything just in case there's a little bit of rust. I'm going to, if I don't drop everything, wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol to get any residual dust off, dry it off, and then spray it with some blackish paint and primer in one. I think this color will look nice. It's not metallic. I mean, it says it's metallic, but it's not like a high gloss, so I think it'll blend in nicely with the frame. So here we go. I'm impatient. So now that my brackets are dry, I'm going to go ahead and assemble these. So I'm going to put the wire through first. Pull it almost all the way through. I'm going to put the nut on through. I'm going to start the nut on the light so that it all comes together as it should. Now what I am going to do is take just a little bit of blue thread lock and put it on the thread of this blinker, and just a drop will do. You don't need to go crazy with it. There we go. Tighten it down. And once that's dry, it should hold it. What I'm going to do also, I don't know if you can see, right there on the end of the thread looks like it could potentially be a weak point to me. So I'm going to take just a little bit of heat shrink and have it overlap on that thread, and then as it loops around through the hole, I feel like it'll be just a little bit of extra protectant. So that'll sit over like that, and then after I heat shrink it, I'll just loop it around and put it through the smaller hole. I've got the wire looped through, and I'm going to leave it at about that size because I don't want to put too much tension. I don't want to crease the wire. So that's ready to go on the bike. I'll do the other one and then we'll put them on. I'm losing light pretty quick, so if it gets dark, I'm sorry. But so that's where that goes. I'm going to go ahead and feed my wire through the small hole, and then it should line up perfectly because I measured. I'm going to get a nut and bolt and put it on the back. Or a nut and washer, rather. So I'm going to use thread lock again on this, just for good measure. Just a drop. Doesn't take much. Run that up, and I will tighten that in a moment. We'll get the other side, and then we'll wire it up. Okay, so I've taken the old connectors, cut them apart. I'm going to strip the ends of them, and then I'm going to crimp and heat shrink these ends to my new blinkers. Now, one thing to note, they came off like that, offset, so that I could pull the nut over it. So I'm going to make sure that I put them back on like that, just because it's how they came off. I don't have the same kind of nut, but that's okay. I think it'll be good. So I've got these wire ends stripped, and I've got these wire ends with a crimp on them, so I'm going to go ahead and connect them. So I've got those crimped and the heat shrink on. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect them. After I reconnected the blinker wires, all I had to do was reassemble the headlight, and they worked. Except I did have to change the flasher relay out. So the flasher relay that comes with the bike is meant for incandescent bulbs only. I went to AutoZone, spent $12 on an EP35 is the model number. Essentially it's a flasher relay that's meant to work with LEDs and incandescent bulbs, or a mixture of both. The reason a relay that is meant for incandescent bulbs will not work properly with LEDs is kind of a lengthy explanation, so I may do a video on that later. You can find information online that would probably explain it better than I would. I may do something on that later, but next time, probably this coming weekend, is a flexible LED brake and turn light system. So the middle part lights up red for brake and running light, and the outside lights up yellow. So I'm going to remove the fender, build a bracket, and get this installed next time. So please like and subscribe. Stay tuned. It keeps me motivated to make more videos, and I hope you enjoyed it.